Dead and Hip Hop album review, IDK Is He Real. Before we get into the review, look, man, support your boys. Patreon. If you go there, you can vote on what we are going to record. You can also nominate the classic album reviews, and you can vote on them too. Become a patron. There's different levels. You ain't got to spend $100 a month. Also, the other way that you can support us is by subscribing to the channel. The other way you can support us is by hitting that like. And if you don't want to do any one of those three, just watch us. We appreciate it.
Y'all can do one. Y'all can hit
y'all can hit one.
Shit.
We're giving you like three or four different options. Just support your boys any which way that you can. But IDK Is He Real? Look, man, I'm gonna just start right here, bro. I'm gonna start right here with this.
Okay.
This is one of the best fucking albums I've heard in my life.
In your life?
This is up there. This is up there. And the reason why I have to put this up there.
Because you know when you start doing that and say, okay, I'm gonna start by this, we be like, okay, he might go a little negative.
I need that Myke mean face from last. I need that right now. Nigga, you said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's one of the best albums I've heard in my life, and the reason why is because we've listened to other God-inspired music like Lecrae, and I want to say there was somebody else too that we reviewed on the channel, but
Chance.
yeah,
Even a little bit of Kanye, because he kind of went that way. You remember
which one?
I want to say Black and Pablo. Yeah, it came up
sonically.
Like
yeah,
I know it's not like this. Yeah, but he started kind of veering towards that a little bit.
But the reason why I made the statement is because I don't think I've ever had an album really make me challenge the idea of God the way this one did. All of the ideas, everything that he was talking about, the way that he executed these songs, and then it was with an accessible sound. It didn't sound preachy. It didn't sound hokey. It didn't sound gospel-y. Like, I was just like, I was just blown away. And then obviously, as an artist, IDK can rap his ass off. Like, just think about like the intro, right? Like, what happens when you die? And he has this little kid explaining it. And then as soon as the beat comes in on the track, it's like, damn, bro. Like, it's almost like some trap bass on this shit. You know what I'm saying? The way he's rapping, and then how the engineer had to, like, him coming in and coming out, and it was just like, yo, like, IDK really executed this. And then for me, it didn't really it slapped me in the face as soon as I listened to it, but I had to rewind this shit as soon as I got the porno, and I was like, god damn, like, Pusha, nigga, really? And then just again how he challenges the ideas of like just religion and what's in the Bible. Like, he's like, the Bible tells me that beating my dick is as bad as killing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to, I guess we don't really think about it, but if you think about it, it's like, damn, like, that's really what they're teaching us. And again, just how he challenges everything, the way he just puts everything together, man, like this album, it just blew me away. From the production, the message, the way he's challenging your idea of what religion is, what death is. I guess I'm going through shit in my life. You know what I'm saying? So to have this come at the time, like, I don't know, it's just making me think different, and it's not like I never had these thoughts for myself, but I just never had a piece of music to
really kind of speak to you the way this is speaking.
Exactly.
To you. I get you.
It's just interesting. I'm listening to him, and what you liked about this project was what I disliked about this project. I definitely think this is a good album. Sonically, these beats, his raps, he killed it. His flows were nasty. He sounded great over all this shit. I only disliked one track, which was December with Burna Boy. I didn't really care for that one. Everything else, I thought, as a rap song, dope. My issue with this was I thought the theme of the album, he came nowhere near close to making it fit. You start an album off with this great metaphor where, he's like, what is death like? And the little kids, you're standing in this long line and there's this mountain, and right when you get to the front of the line, nothing happens because you realize God's not fucking real. That's a bold statement for a rap album. A very bold statement. Then when he gets to 4,200 choices, I'm like, okay, cool. 4,200. That's the number of religions that exist that you can choose from.
Yep.
Great segue.
Appreciate it.
Great segue. Lyrically in the song, doesn't touch on that really. He's talking about all the different ways that you can die in the hood, which you can make a loose connection.
Of course, it's like a double entendre.
Fine. The E in blue. The E is silent maybe. God is silent, but you know it's there. The E is silent, but you know it's there. Is that the connection? Maybe. Alone. 24. Which I read was about Matthew 6:24, about how you can't serve two gods, money and but then the whole song is really just about the problems that money brings. I didn't really get how this was challenging at all. I felt like the majority of this was either very loosely based or the idea was extremely basic. I didn't feel that this was a godly album. I almost felt like he was challenging the idea of God. But in my opinion, it was in a very weak manner. And I was disappointed at that.
I felt like, I guess the theme or where he was going with the album was very interesting. I'm like, okay, if this shit's done right, he can knock this shit out like the fucking park or whatever. Even from the album title. You know what I mean? From the album cover. I'm sorry. From the album cover.
Oh
with,
yeah,
with the sheep on the,
and the black goat.
Yeah, and then you starting off with that, the intro with the little kid. I'm like, okay, he about to knock this out the park. And I agree with you as well, and Feefo. Like the way he's flown. I mean, I already knew that from the last album review.
Yeah.
Like this
you know
dude can
gonna rap.
Yeah, you know he's gonna rap his ass off. But I felt like. I just felt like he didn't knock it out the park. Like as far as with the theme and everything, you know, because even some of the songs. He was just, it was one song, I think it was Lily, where he was just like talking about him growing up being like the eyeball in school. I think that's the right song, I don't know. It's one of them songs where he's talking about like just growing up, you know, being like the eyeball in school or whatever. So I'm like, okay, what that got to do with, I feel like some of these songs were just such a miss. I think he could have really, I
You
can't
said
explain.
misses for us tying it together?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's what I
Missed
mean.
opportunity
It was a miss,
to make this a very
yeah.
interesting concept.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, that's
Because I mean, can you really tie every one of these songs to some sort of religious issue or idea?
No, but not necessarily like every single song like tying it to like one specific religious issue or idea, but you felt, at least I felt the connection of just being, I guess, a minority, being a person that challenges the idea of God at times.
But was that in the music, or did you just know that's what was supposed to be the idea? I don't feel like that was in the music. Him challenging the idea of God, I didn't get that at all.
I got it. I'm not gonna say it was every track. I feel like that was the overview. That was like the concept of what this album was supposed to be.
It felt like it was more on European skies than anywhere else.
Where he
I
was
think
talking about like
that's when he started
Christianity and all that
really
stuff.
kind of
Yeah.
But that's track 10.
That's yeah.
yeah.
The rest of this, it was just he rapped.
And I understand having DMX on there because he
That was
doing
the
his albums
That
and
was
stuff like
yeah.
that. You know, and I guess even looping Tyler in there.
Because he's always had questions about it
Yeah,
too. So.
I do me, you do you, which is one of my favorite tracks. I love how they flipped that Amarie shit.
yeah.
Amarie, yeah, that shit was tight.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that I liked musically about this was like all of the R&B sample flips that he did on this. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought that was really dope. I don't know. Like I'm listening to y'all, and I guess it just didn't connect with y'all like that.
And see, and I also thought, Julia, I'm sorry, yeah, I felt like when I listened to that track, I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's like questioning it because of the passing of his mother, which I know for me is very understanding. So I was like, well, let me listen to this again and see that I missed something. And of course, you know, my multiple listen, I'm like, no, it's not that. And it just, and I like the songs. Like sonically, I do like the album. I mean, I like the sound of the album. I like everything about this album. I mean,
You just wish it would have hit.
I wish he, because it could have been brilliant. This could have been a fucking brilliant.
You could feel like Feefo.
I could feel like Feefo. It could have been fucking brilliant. I don't know about my life, all my life or some shit. Whatever you said. What you say? It was one of the greatest albums you felt in your life, in your whole life or something like that. I mean, yeah, but
It's a bold statement.
it's definitely a bold statement.
So, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, nobody's saying that you're wrong in that. It's a very bold statement, and you're entitled to it. Nobody's trying to take your mind. That's cool.
I'm just fucking with you.
But when I listened to this, I just feel like this was a serious missed opportunity. Because how many rap albums would start off with God's not fucking real?
No,
That's crazy.
it caught me off
Man,
guard.
Too. And you know, I listen to state music all day long.
I'm like, man, talk about a set. I'm like, okay. So.
Cause I was in the car with Nate. I was like, oh man, you know what? I need to listen to this IDK before the review.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that shit sounded, you know, I was like, oh, that's cool. And he said that. I'm like, whoa.
And then
I looked over to the left, I looked over to the right. Like, I don't know what we in for, but
and then it went to 42 in the choices. I was like, okay, yeah, we might be going.
You know, I was ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so you're going to present an atheistic kind of viewpoint.
Yeah.
Or you're going to really be challenging Christian values.
Yes.
It almost felt like he recorded these songs and then it was like, oh, you know what? I can make this a loose concept. It was like an afterthought, it felt like.
I will say that it felt like a loose concept because I only listened to it 2, 3, maybe 3 times. So I get what you're saying about how it doesn't feel like it hits like how obviously it's hitting with him. But I thought maybe because I haven't listened to it that many times that maybe I'll get it once I listen to it a few more times. So that's what I was thinking.
I gave it 3 shots, and I liked all 3 shots. Sonically, if I step away from the concept, I'm fucking jamming.
Exactly.
He had so many fucking bars on this shit that I was just like, wow. Like
Jid came and did his thing too.
He did.
And I disagree with you about the Pusha verse too. That was probably my biggest disappointment on the whole album. Pusha sounded good.
Yeah.
Where that was those Pusha level verses, bars. Hell no.
Jid was the highlight of that feature on that song on Porno.
You sit there and you tell me that Pusha was giving you bars the way Pusha usually gives you bars?
Pusha gave us what the track needed.
Disagree.
Wow, I disagree with that. It wasn't all about, like, the whole album wasn't necessarily about challenging God, but it all tied in with super serious things that happen in life, and you have to question why these things happen. You know what I'm saying? So who do you blame?
No. Yeah, and that's why I said it's a loose concept. But when you're starting, because you don't have a conclusion at the end.
No, you don't.
So it's like when I finished this, honestly, the first thing I said to myself, I was like, "That was dope, but what's the point?"
When I got to the end, I felt okay. So starting in the beginning, it was like he questioned God, or not even questioning.
He said God's not.
He said God is
no. So it's not even a
God's
question.
not real. Then you go through all these situations that happen throughout life,
right?
Like,
you know.
Then what?
So are you still saying God's not real?
I feel like he changed his mind at the end. I feel like it was because what did he say? He was like, how can he not be like this? Right?
And that was confusing as shit. I forget the bar, and you know what? I'm gonna look it up because I really want to know what that was.
So that's what. So when I got to the end, I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta listen to this a few more times.
So again, so this is why I liked it because I feel like this album depicted a whole bunch of life experiences that still have you questioning if he's real or not, because we don't know. At our heart of hearts, you can have all the faith and belief, but you don't know factually, and you have to question that through your life experiences that happen.
But how is that deep? Like, how is that super powerful? Like, that just seems like a very basic concept. And I hate to sound like this because I sound like I'm shitting on the album. Once again, let me repeat. I think this sonically is dope. Like, every song, except for that one, I thought was dope. My only issue with this was I felt like the concept was a little bit cheap. I feel like with the thing that you're saying, they sound very basic. And I feel like anyone could write an album talking about, man, I got all these terrible life experiences and I question God. Cool, but there's nothing that separates this from anything else.
While you say it's basic, it's the same thing about what you said earlier on. It's like, while it may be like a basic concept or a basic idea, you don't see many rappers doing this or challenging that or making an album like this.
I just don't know if...
Wait. I don't think you see that. Dan, you said that in the beginning.
I agree.
Yeah.
No. What I said at the beginning was I would not expect a rap album to start off with God's not fucking real.
Right.
And for you to not go anywhere with that, that's my issue.
Gotcha.
You didn't go anywhere with that. All you did was you wrote an album about a whole bunch of terrible experiences, which I appreciate. You being open and honest, and I feel like you shining light on certain situations that rappers wouldn't talk about, that's good enough. But for you to preface it with this whole is God real, you on the cover with the sheep and the goat, and then you really don't drill into that. And what really started to not, I don't want to say irk me, but for you to give like these subtle like references to biblical verses but you're not really bringing any of this together. Like, I feel like there was no like cohesiveness to this idea to make this album fit.
You don't think it would have came off too preachy or too?
What's preachy?
Well, not even necessarily preachy, but just too much. If he did that, like
if he stayed on course, you talking
like if he stayed, like if he really doubled down on the concept and not made it a little loose.
I think. Oh,
No, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think a rapper of his caliber, he's proven that he can kind of keep my attention and
still go in
and still
deeper?
be creative enough to stay on point without it being too preachy. I think he's that talented.
The thing is, there's nothing to preach.
Because that's why I took preaching out. That's why.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay, all right.
But what I'm getting at is
Not over the head.
if he's really trying to present this idea of challenging whether or not God exists, I think that's a great idea. That's a dope concept. But for you to lightly sprinkle it, nah, bro. You need to go Rhapsody on this shit.
Yeah, a
make
topic
it
this
a
heavy.
very obvious, and this is what I'm talking about. Here's this issue. Tie it together.
Yeah.
Or maybe he wanted to use the fucked up experiences throughout the album to show why in the very beginning of the album he thought God wasn't real. He was so declarative about what he was saying.
Yeah, I got that. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like it was a fairly basic attempt at this concept. There was nothing that I heard here that was deep in terms of that concept. It was just him talking about different ideas and different issues within certain communities, and then him bringing it together with what happened specifically with his mom and stepdad. But when you're talking about, is God real? I'm challenging the idea of God. I did not really feel that. And that's my problem. I feel like this was an album about real shit, and then afterwards you just put this bow on it like, oh, it's a concept about challenging the existence of God.
We're just gonna be on opposite ends because I feel that through those stories, a lot of if God is real is implied in those stories. Because when you live through that, you like in those moments you question that.
Like, I know you're saying it's implied, but why bother making it implied if you're making it very obvious that this is what you're supposed to be covering?
What he did was just covering real life events, so that way it's relatable and it doesn't. I don't have a better word for preachy, but it doesn't come off like this is all about God in itself. Like this is God this, God that, Jehovah this, that, whatever. Like it came off like these are real life experiences and you can take whatever you want from it.
I like this album. I've listened to it quite a few times and I think it's dope.
So Porno, I did like Porno, and I didn't think about the verse until you said something earlier about it, and I think it was the fact that I just like how Pusha sounded on that. Like Pusha sounded good, and I didn't really dive into like the lyrics, but the way he sounded and the way he delivered that verse, I did rock with it. But
and then they threw the throwback clip sound in it with the.
I did like Pusha on that, bro.
IDK outshined Pusha.
I'm not gonna disagree with that, but I did like the way
IDK
Pusha
outshined
sounded.
Pusha. Kill the pretty kitty, lay them X over his eyes like it's Cause, KAWS Cause that always puts the X's. Come on, bro. Like he fucking.
IDK got him.
Yeah.
IDK's a dope ass rapper.
I understand that, but so is Pusha.
But you know what?
And for him to outshine Pusha that much, that should not happen, bro. And when it was over, I was like, damn, Pusha, you sounded good, but you didn't really say much.
Is Myke the only one that didn't like December?
I like December.
I did too.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was like
That's a little,
Yeah, I didn't like it at first until he started rapping. And so, I didn't like it at first, but
Did you like it?
I did like it.
Okay, that's cool.
I did like it.
I'll be on the island.
Yeah,
I did like it.
care for it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the R&B, and one of you guys mentioned, I didn't expect like the heavy R&B.
Yeah.
I expected cause I do me, you do you. I love that shit because that's like one of my favorite songs from her, and the way he flipped it, the way they were harmonizing. Like I wanted more.
That was dope.
And I was like, oh man, why'd y'all do that? And then to kind of go into December, and I think that was I think they did a Wyclef shit on there too, but the Gone to November.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Was kind of dope to kind of shift from the rap to like singing, and then like the reggae shit or whatever that was. So
Digital was one of my joints I liked on that too.
Digital
He
was
was
dope. That
He was
trap.
flashback,
Yeah, bro.
digital dash.
Flashback.
I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, man, like
Yeah,
that's what I
dope.
mean. Like, look, this guy, this
Run it back,
motherfucker
run it
is,
back, run it back,
yeah, this motherfucker's talented, man. Like,
He is.
he's
Yeah, he
talented
really
as
is.
fuck, man. It's just, yeah, that joint. Fuck. I just wish that shit just 24. I just wish that shit hit. That was so catchy, wasn't it? 124 so fucking catchy. I'm like, man, so he's making great catchy music too.
And he's very diverse.
Yeah.
So like if you're talking about aesthetics and sonics, I feel like what he did on this album, the fact that he chose to go in so many different directions, but it still sounded good together.
Yep.
That's the sign of a very talented rapper and writer.
Man.
And he really has a great ear for beats.
Yes, he does.
Like he can rap over just about anything.
Yes.
And he had 35 different flows on this shit.
Yeah.
And they're all good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every song he found his pocket easily. It was just like he could do a slow flow, he could do a fast flow. It was like, man, when you really like from a technical standpoint,
He got
killed
it. He's it.
Absolutely
That dude got it, man.
killed it. I just wish there wasn't a concept to this project. That's all.
Do you think you may be judging it a little harshly because your expectations of it is higher than most, maybe?
Why would my expectations be higher than most?
Because, like you said in the beginning, you was like, man, I was expecting for him to do this. I mean, if you're gonna say that, man, I was expecting for him to do that. So I think it didn't meet your expectations based on the opening track.
Wouldn't that be anybody? If you listen to something, you would expect something, then
Well, not me, because I thought it was very interesting when I heard the first track.
so it met your What did you?
I won't say it met my expectations. It made me want to listen to it more and figure out a couple things.
Did
But
you
you
figure
didn't
something
figure it out,
I'm about to
did
say,
I hadn't had like I
Oh,
said,
you haven't had a chance to listen
I
to
don't think I've given myself enough time with it.
Okay.
Personally.
You listened to it 3 times. If you still not getting,
One was kind of loose. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the first one was with Nate. We was going somewhere and it was really loose. The second time I kind of sat with it a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, I see what he was trying to do. So I feel like I need to listen to it again and say, okay, what is this guy really doing on this album? That's just me personally. Okay. You know, you look a little deflated, man. Let's
No, it's just, you know,
I still wondering if God's real.
nah, man, it's just, you know, at the end of the day, we all interpret stuff differently. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
I think
fine.
this is the prime example of that. Because nobody here is saying that the album was bad from a rapper aesthetic perspective. The motherfucker is amazing. How the concept was interpreted by my ears and how it relates to my personal life just hit me different than it did for everybody else.
The reason I think that this didn't connect for me is you don't probably have a lot of atheists in your life, do you? Most of my friends are atheists. So these ideas come off extremely basic to me.
right.
And I think that's what it is. You're probably not used to hearing these ideas, and other rap fans are probably not used to hearing these ideas. So when they're presented, for you, it's like, damn, let me think about that for a minute. For me, it's like,
hear it all the
I've
time.
heard this shit 300,000 times.
And that's what I
And
figured.
that's what I
So
was trying to avoid
it's
saying.
unfair.
Yeah, and 100% because these, and that's why I said it related to me because these concepts I have, like these thoughts that he presents in the album,
Happened to you recently.
it's happened to me throughout my 35 years of life. But I don't talk to anybody about it. I don't talk about challenging God and the concept of God with other people.
Gotcha.
It's something that I internalize, and I know other people talk about it. But again, I never had an album to actually depict
And I used to-
real life experiences
I get it.
about this.
And I used to have these conversations like that with my dad often.
Right. See, that's the difference between
you know.
you and Feefo's experiences.
I didn't have these conversations with family members, but I had these conversations with friends. And I've been
Right.
having these conversations probably since I was 14.
Right.
So when I'm hearing this, I'm just like, bruh, and?
So-
But now when you're talking about it and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, these are new ideas being presented that aren't commonplace.
Yes.
These are commonplace for me.
Right.
I think that's where the disconnect between me and this album and you and this album.
Yeah, and then you know, just to shed a little bit more light, like on my background, like I went to private school my whole life until my senior year of high school. Private school my entire life, so I never questioned God. I was taught about God.
I started questioning this shit when I was super young. I started talking about it out loud when I was like 14 or 15, when I realized that atheism was a thing. I didn't know what that was when I was in 4th grade. It was either you're Christian or you're a Satanist. And if you're a Satanist, you're gonna kill me and sacrifice me and drink my blood. That's what we thought when we were that young. So when I get to be 14 or 15, I'm just like, oh, this is a thing? Questioning God is normal? Not shitting on Christians, not attacking faith, but questioning it as normal? Cool. But until this moment when you were talking about it, it didn't connect. Why? This was not connecting for me, but it was connecting for you. Because I've already been through this years ago. And I'm past it. I still don't think he nailed the concept, but I get why it disconnected from me so hard.
It's gonna be hard for me to narrow it down. You're gonna have to cut me, bruh.
Why are we still going through this?
Because, man, I gotta put my 2 cents out there. I'm gonna go home and not feel good, not listing all the tracks that I like. So I gotta say it. Give me 4,200 choices. Give me 24. Give me Porno. Give me I Do Me, You Do You. December.
All right, man, that's good.
4,200 choices. 24, Porno, Digital, and Julia.
Go ahead,
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Go ahead.
That's
Same
crazy.
thing.
That's crazy.
4,200, 24, Porno, Digital, and Julia.
That's
Same
crazy.
exact one.
That's fucking crazy.
What you got, kid?
4,200, 24, Porno, I Do Me, You Do You, and Digital.
IDK, if you watch it, look, bruh. Again, man, this is one of the best albums I heard. For me personally, I related to it. I get where you were going, and it resonated with me, bro. You're a fucking amazing artist, dog. Like there, you don't have any weaknesses in your approach. You don't have any weaknesses in your technicality or your skill level. So, yeah, man, I'm excited to see what other things you decide to tackle musically in the future. Cause like I said, I want to say I said this last time. I didn't go back and review the check, but I'm definitely checking out for everything that you come out with, bro. You are definitely one of the best new artists out, and just continue to be on your grind. Continue to push yourself. You sound like you're an artist that just, you don't take the cookie cutter route, bro. Like you go above and beyond. So I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to what you do.
You know, great. I hope you don't watch this review and think that I think this is a bad album or anything like that. Like, no, this is definitely a good album. You are definitely a talented artist, talented rapper. Like I think either Ken or Myke said it earlier. You definitely have a great ear for beats, and the way you just float over all your tracks is great. I just wish, with the album artwork and then the way you start this album off, I just wish you would have just hit home with the concept a lot more. This could have really been, I think, a really brilliant album. But I mean, that was like my negative. Other than that, I felt like the rest of this album was really good, just from sonically, just how it sounded and everything. So, I'm always interested in, what you're doing next and whatever features or other EPs or anything you plan on releasing. I'm gonna be the first to check it out. So keep up the good work.
IDK, if you're watching, dope project. Definitely enjoyed the album a lot. With some really good songs on here. And I like the fact that you're introducing these ideas to the mainstream, because I think you have pretty much of a mainstream-esque following. And I think these type of concepts, talking about something, are important. Because I was talking to one of the clients that record here, and I asked him about the album, and he heard and knew you were a dope rapper, but he's the type of guy that wants to hear substance. And putting this substance in your album, made him listen to it. And there may be other people like that, but regardless of where I'm at with the concept of the album itself, I think even on a basic level, talking about this in this public forum that you're in, and introducing these ideas, I think it's dope to kind of challenge people that are listening to your album, and they may have some of the same thoughts and ideas that you do, but just never felt comfortable enough to discuss it out loud, and it could create a discussion among them elsewhere.
I definitely want you to walk away from this review thinking that I enjoyed this project. I know we were quite critical of the concept, and in recent memory, I can't think of the last time I heard an album where I enjoyed it this much sonically, but didn't connect with the concept. I can't think of any time really that's happened, to be honest. So you're an anomaly. But yeah, you can fucking rap. You can definitely write songs very well. You have an amazing ear for beats. You know what you sound good over. You know how to find your pocket. So all of that you got on the table easy. My issue with the concept, it may be more of a personal one, but as someone that comes from that sort of atheist lane, it didn't really do much for me there. But it's still a great project that I think a lot of people need to hear, especially seeing the reactions that it got from Feefo. So yeah, definitely keep thinking a little bit outside the box and doing your thing.